Here at Southern Comfort, we call this the black bedroom. And the reason we call it the black bedroom is if you see the furniture is predominantly black with brown inserts to it. This is actually some of my favorite furniture in the whole house. It's very quality furniture, and to me it just looks rich. For some reason we only purchased one end table for this bedroom. I'm not sure how that happened, and it's not even sitting beside the bed. Over here it is against the wall. This is one of the original benches that we purchased almost 20 years ago, and it is stained black and brown to go along with the furniture. This is the TV stand that was in the living room before we made additional purchases. It's black, just like the rest of the furniture, but it has no brown on it. So what this room needs is some end tables that are black and brown, and a TV stand that is black and brown. Now the problem with that is finding it. I guess there's only one way to get it though. That's just to build it. The process of making end tables for the black bedroom in Georgia actually starts here in Florida. I have a pretty nice shop in Georgia for making repairs and making crude things, but I have a much better shop here in Florida, and so I started the process here in Florida. The idea for the nightstands came from Woodworkers Guild of America. I have already made one table from this plan. It was made out of cedar. The cedar was milled by my brother-in-law, Freddie Armstrong, and I gave it to my sister-in-law, Barbara Armstrong, and she liked it a great deal. I intended to make 3 more of those tables and give one to each of my grandchildren, but I decided it was too tough for them to carry it around. They became the idea for the brown top, black base tables that are going to go in the black room in Georgia. As I said, I started them here in Florida. I only need 2 end tables in Georgia, and this is the top for the odd one that's not going to be a black base and brown top. For the black base and brown tops, I made my own base, and I'm going to stain a top like this and glue it and screw it onto this base, which this base is going to be black. As you can see, I've already put the cross bases for the legs. These legs spew out at about a 5-degree angle, and that gives it enough spread to have a stable base. So I've made 2 of these, and then there's a shelf at the bottom which I have already made notches in using the bandsaw. Of course, right now the bandsaw is acting as the camera stand, and sanded them down. And I will take all of this with us to Georgia unassembled, because it travels so much easier that way. And when we get back to Georgia, I will stain them and put them together. Now I have to work on the legs. I've got all the legs, 12 of them, cut to length, and now they need a hole, a 1-inch hole drilled at the 10 1/4 mark and the 17 1/4 mark. You can probably see, I hope you can see, that I have a board attached to my bench here, clamped down. That board's going to serve 2 purposes. One, each one of these legs has one end that's a 5-degree cut to accommodate the 5-degree angle that's up on the base just to spread out the legs. And by matching my board up to the one that's on my bench, I can tell that that one's square and this one's not. So this is the end I want to measure from, and I want to measure from the long end, so I need to flip it over, and this is the long end, and find my 10 1/4 mark and my 17 1/4 mark. So 10 1/4 is right there, and 17 1/4 is right there. But where's the center of the board? Well, I got my square here. Got it already measured out to be 1 1/4, because the board is 2 1/2. Put it up against my board to create me a backstop, and run along, and I find the center. There's my mark where I have to drill my holes. In order to make sure that I don't wander, I have an awl and a hammer. I probably don't need the hammer, but I'm going to use it anyway. Punch myself a little indent at the spot I want my hole to be. I have a lacquer board to keep from getting tear out. Got a 1-inch Forstner bit in my drill, and now it's just a matter of drilling the holes. Eleven more to go. All the holes are cut. Now I have to cut a slot in between the holes. The website says to make that slot 1/4 of an inch, but I'll be honest with you, I think they made it 1/4 of an inch because that's what their jigsaw just exactly matched up to. Unfortunately, mine doesn't. But I like the looks of the 1/4 inch, so I have created a spacer in my fence in order to make my jigsaw make that 1/4 of an inch slot. I have it taped on. I have it clamped on. Got my jigsaw ready, and I'm going to cut the slots. 11 more slots to go. All the pieces are cut. Tools are all packed. We'll be headed to Georgia in a couple of days, and we'll finish the project there. We're back in Georgia. It's time to get the tables put together. I got my tops here. I got my legs here. And now what I have to do is to attach my legs, and I got to make sure that I turn them so that the 5 degrees is flat on the floor. I've got a drill to pre-drill the holes. I've got some 1.5 inch screws to attach the legs with. I think I'm set to go. Eleven more legs to go. Well, there's one with the legs put on. Still got to have a shelf down here, and this is a black and brown one, so it's going to get a brown top. All of this is going to be stained black. 2 more tables to go. The tables have a second shelf on them. You can see I already got the second shelf sitting on this one, and that's because this is the table that's not going to be both black and brown. I decided to go ahead and put the second shelf on it and stain the whole thing one color. But to stain the black and brown ones, it's going to be much easier to stain it before I put the shelf on. So I'm going to put this shelf on. I'm going to wait and stain before I put the other shelves on. I've already pre-measured, and I know this is exactly 5.5 inches from the leg. So I'm going to screw it in place. And this one is assembled. Three more legs to go on this table. Now I'm going to start the staining process. That's going to be a multiple effort job because you got to stain one side and let it dry, stain the other side. Not going to take many pictures of the staining, that's pretty dull. The tops and the second shelves of the brown and black ones are all stained. The bottom half of the all brown one is stained. Now we wait. Now I got to get the black on the black and brown tables. And I'm going to finish up the one that is all one color. Everything's stained. Now we need some drying time. Well, all the staining's done. Time to put the brown and black tables together. I have the tabletop here. we'll flip it over. Gonna put a little glue. Needed my brush to spread it out. Get the tabletop on and centered. Okay, that looks pretty centered. Now clamping is difficult to do, so what I'm going to do is screw it down. I've got the top screwed on. I got the bottom shelf in place. It's exactly 6 inches from the base. Now I'm going to screw it in place so it doesn't move. Okay, a few more to go and we'll be done. All put together. Now all we need is some finish on it. Now for some finish, I'm going to start on the bottoms. I'll do the tops tomorrow. I think we're going to call them finished. They look pretty good to me. In order to make the round top for the TV stand, I don't have any wood that's wide enough to make the top. So I have to edge glue 3 pieces together. Now, because I don't have a joiner here in Georgia, I'm going to shave just a hair off of each one of my 3 boards on both sides and see if I can't get them straighter so that they join together better. Now to edge glue it together. I already got glue on this one. third one doesn't need any glue. I need some weight. There, that helps. Now, a few more clamps and we're good to go. Well, I let it dry overnight. It's time to see how flat I got it. Well, I don't think it's too bad. Little sanding, I think I'll be just fine. I've got the top cut to width. Now I've got to smooth out the joints where I splice the two pieces together and then sand it down, and then we're ready to try to cut it out. Now I got to cut the notch out of the front. I've kind of got it drawn out. I'm going to cut the curve first, and then I'm going to set myself up a fence to make the back side of the notch straight. Time for some pre-stain sealer. The final coat of poly's been applied. Now we got to wait a while for it to dry and then we can install it. We got one more project. Mary's got a tapestry she wants to hang. So what we need to do is to make a frame on the top of it in order to cut it off. In order to hang it. So we need it to be about 3 foot wide. We want the front board to be 2 inches and the back board to be 3 inches. So okay, these need to be 3 foot and about a ½ inch. The ½ inch is overhang. So that's 3 foot and a ½ inch. put a little bit of a 45 on the end. Let's see. I think I want that to be the outside, so okay, there we go. Well, we put some glue on the top, attached it down. Mary helped me, she's over there, she won't get the camera, get it centered, and now we're screwing it down. In the process of putting the tops on the TV stand, Mary discovered that there's this big, huge, gaping hole in the back. And I can tell you where this came from. Our original TV purchases were much bigger and not flat screens. And we had to cut out the back in order to accommodate the TV. So, what we did was we took a 1/4-inch piece of plywood and stained it black, and we're going to put it right back here up against the wall. And because it is such lightweight wood, we're actually going to attach it using the old-fashioned duct tape method.
Why don't you bring it down here and let me start at this end and run it all the way across the top?
And why do you want to do that?
Because
You can if you want, but it
I was going to make sure it taped. Stop.
actually doesn't take that much to hold it.
It would look better than little pieces of tape stuff.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
You run it across.
And then I'll run it up down the side.
Okay, you can do that too.
Oh, sorry. Did I hurt your head?
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Let me get the knife.
If I can pull it, I mean, this is some strong stuff. Doesn't want to.
Here, you want me to cut it?
When I get to the end.
Honey, if I cut it before you get to the end, then you got room to pull it out and tape it down.
Okay, cut it.
Good thing I bought the big roll.
Yeah. Jeez. Catch my glasses, please. Oh, now you can get on the board there. That was good. because I'm gonna duct tape the sides. I think it's split. Okay. Well, that probably, maybe it won't go anywhere. You think?
Need help?
I think I'm all right. I think I need to get my hand and kind of touch up some of these places.
Okay, well, I've got a wide one.
Just need a little.
Okay, well, that looks much better. I totally agree. The top of the TV stand now matches all the other furniture. We now have end tables sitting beside the bed. That matches all the furniture. And we just picked up this lamp at Home Depot. That goes pretty well with the rest of the lamps in here. And we now have a lamp on each one of the end tables. And they all pretty well match. I think this room looks pretty good. Of course, the tapestry above the TV stand sets the whole thing off.